Okay, welcome everybody. This is Monday evening. We're excited about being with you tonight. We are really excited about our two speakers tonight. We've got an incredible host, a gentleman who's got decades of experiences corporately and overseen several multi-billion-dollar annual turnover companies previously. Steve Morley is an incredible UK who's now been appointed as the Sales National Director of United Kingdom and the Irish market, because we are in pre-launch. And through Steve and the hard work that he's endeavored over the last few short weeks, we've been able to secure an audience tonight with the one and only Dag Petterson. And Steve's going to host the call this evening. So grab your pens, grab your pieces of paper. You're going to want to make loads of notes. And Steve, we thank you for all the tireless hours you're doing right now to make sure that we in the United Kingdom and Ireland are prepared for our launch in the next few short months. So Steve, with that said, I'm going to hand the evening over to you. And thank you for leading by example, working many hours to make sure we're primed and ready for what we believe is going to be one of the best successes in market openings for Zinzino.
Hi, well, thank you, Dave, and good evening to everybody. I'm looking at the chat now, and I just see messages from everywhere, from South Africa to Holland to Denmark to Plymouth and Finland, and I really appreciate everyone's time and effort, especially on Easter Monday. I hope you all had a good Easter. I hope you're all safe. Hope your families are safe. Tonight we're very lucky. Every Monday we hold a call for our partners and for their people. And tonight we have really, in my eyes, my mentor. So the person who got me into the business is CEO of the company and has done just an outstanding job at both a local corporate level, at a corporate level and also with the field. Dag has basically worked with Orion and Hilda directly, along with a lot of the other key staff, to produce a company which is outstanding. And what really brought me back to the UK was people like Dag and the rest of the corporate team who, in the 97 days since I joined Zinzino, have just been supportive and fantastic help and really outstanding in terms of letting the UK market grow. So tonight we have Dag on the call, and Dag, welcome. I hope you're well, hope your family is well. How's Sweden tonight?
Well, Sweden is good, Norway is good. I'm based in here in Oslo at the moment, and there is a split in the world for time being. Good evening, everyone, by the way, and thank you for having me on the call, Steve. I think Scandinavia is good. We're late, we're about an hour ahead of you guys, so it's 9 o'clock in the evening, and you said it's Easter. But it's good to have so many people participating and joining us for tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, so cool. Everyone is so nice, Dag.
That's amazing. So, what is your thoughts for tonight, Steve?
I'd like to do it like a lot of people have seen you on Zinzino TV, and they see you on the Facebook Lives, and they know a lot about kind of you as a person. But tonight I just want to really do like an audience with. So this is Dag, this is the man, this is the CEO of a NASDAQ listed company. I mean, my first question is: you wake up in the morning. What's the first thing you do? Is it kiss the wife, look at the kids, look at the share price, check your emails? What's the first thing you do in the morning?
The last thing I would do in that sense would be looking at the share price. The share price is nothing I can do about or whatever, but I'm probably thinking about the life and all my goals for the day. I'm pretty structured in the way I'm working and always list up a lot of things that I need to accomplish during a day. So that's the first thing, and it's all depending where I'm waking up. Half of my time I'm not at home. For the last 3-4 weeks I've been more at home, I think, than on the last 9-10 years. So it's really not a punish to be at home, not at all. So I'm enjoying my family and spending time with them, of course. But there's a lot of Zoom meetings these days, Steve. So you being a part of that and you're seeing that, so it has been a lot of hard work, different work, enjoyable work, and we've done great during this last 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. And so it's hard to tell exactly because no days are the same for me, Steve. If you talk in a different, but not the stock price. The stock price is nothing I can do about. The only thing I can do is to make sure that Zinzino is working and doing well.
No, I love that. How did you become involved with Zinzino, Dag?
So I've been working 11 years, I think, for the telecom industry. And then I knew the founders, Örjan, pretty well from that time. I think it was 2001. And we've been sharing same kind of passion for books and education and self education, you can say. And then I think it's 12 or 13 years ago, I invested a small amount of money in shares in Zinzino when they went to the first stock market. I bought the coffee machine from Marianne, and I liked the coffee and enjoyed the coffee, and then I left the telecom industry to start my own consultant agency together with 2 other partners. We created a good company in Oslo. And then I was invited, it's about 9 years ago, I was invited by Örjan, the board, and a couple of others to do an assessment, a management consultant assessment of Zinzino, making the strategy for Zinzino. And it was pretty amazing, or what I really enjoyed was the scalability and the opportunity in this business, even though I've been talking to Örjan over the years about that. So it's about 9 years ago, started up as a management consultant, talking about the strategy, and I laid out the strategy. And in the end of that process, I was invited to become the CEO of Zinzino. And I said yes, and I've not regretted that decision, I would say. But I needed to sell off my consultant agency and the company, but it has been like almost 9 years now, 8.5 years, fun, different, challenging, and amazing years at the same time.
I felt that the first time I went to Stockholm a few months ago. The atmosphere in the office and the relationship between all the departments was just a joy to see. And it was very flat structure as well, which was interesting for, well, I think it's not interesting for a Swedish company. I think a lot of Swedish, Norwegian companies, Scandinavian countries are like that. But for a lot of overseas companies, you normally have this kind of structure where it's like, you know, boss says this, you do this, and, you know, and so forth. That was really a good thing for me to see. My next question, Dag, is relating to, obviously Zinzino has grown every year, which is amazing. But over the past few months, which have been traumatic for the whole economy, global economy, Zinzino has got stronger and stronger. Other companies, certainly in our industry, are faltering. What do you put our success down to?
I think it's several couplings. And over time, we've done the same thing for the last 4, 5, 6 years. We've been really narrowed down. You have a vision and you have a mission and you have long-term goals. Most company has that. And then you need to stick to those long-term goals and be really passionate about those long-term goals. Then you need to build I would say a strategy around those long-term goals. And then you need to build a culture, corporate culture, field culture, so you can accomplish those goals and support those goals. And you talked about the culture. You know that I'm really crazy about having the right kind of culture and the right kind of attitude and the right kind of mindset in that sense. And if you get like enough time to do that over and over and improve things, one of the core values in our business is in continuous improvement. So I think that in every department, they know that I'm thinking like this. I'm actually as crazy as I tell everyone out loud that in our company, we keep the keepers, meaning we keep the key persons who is working in the office. They need to stay. It's like, you're not locked down, but it's like, keep the keepers, move up or move out. I'm just telling everyone, not everyone is supposed to work for Zinzino the rest of their life, but the ones who is really the key persons, I would really like them to stay, to support the business. But overall, we've done the same thing. We've invested quite heavily in IT to make sure that we're self-sufficient, and so we do that. But we started that work like 5 years ago. So what you see now is an tireless 5 years plan, and then we have a new 5 years plan ahead of us. We've done a lot of things in culture, as I said, like how we're dealing with customers, of course, how we're, I would say, driving the business of direct sales into customer oriented, really being that. But that's something that we've done for about 7-8 years, really customer centric, maybe 10 years. So it's all those things in the decision you made maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago that ends up now being a success. And of course, like, it's impossible if we're not mentioning all the good leaders that we have invited in, but we don't lose a lot of leaders. A lot of leaders stays in this business, stays in together with Zinzino, knowing that we're doing the right kind of thing. So kind of an easy thing to say, we're building stone by stone. But we actually do that. We are debt-free. And one thing or others that I really think it's part of our strength and part of the success. You mentioned that, Nasdaq company. But why are we a Nasdaq company? Well, I would like to say we're transparent. Everyone, when you're a Nasdaq company, you can look at the numbers, you can look at what we do, you can look at the customer ratio, you can look at the markets. Everything is open and wide. So if you know some other companies out there, they may be a little bit more personal or hiding their books or bookkeeping. For us, it's the totally opposite. We want to share with the partners, and we want to invite everyone to be a part of Zinzino. They can buy shares, and you can look through everything that we do. So we follow the book, and so that's the part of the Nasdaq. Nasdaq is important, but the transparency, I would say, is more important.
No, I love that. And there's not many companies in our industry that do that. And I think we're the only company that has a customer focus. You know,
I wouldn't say that. There's a lot of companies out there having or trying to have customer focus, but I think we're maybe the only one that is dividing it so clearly in between. So we're delivering the goods to the customers and they're delivering the goods to the partners and really dividing that. And so it's actually two different words in our vocabulary in Zinzino. And then in Sweden, we have a customer office, customer support and partner support. So we're dividing that to really take care of the customers and being customer centric. And in my opinion, that's the only way of building a business for today.
Absolutely. And you just have to look at the retention rate of the partners and the customers, and also the subscriptions and the amount of people who continue to use the product month after month after month, whether they're in balance or not. But you know, I've not seen any company. I know you say I agree that companies are customer centric and they focus on customers, but for sure the companies I see and the companies that give this industry a bad name are the companies that focus on recruitment.
That's one of the things that I'm sorry to interrupt you, Steve, but I very rarely or seldom talk about other companies. And one of the things is that I want to point out that I'm so focused and stupid about Zinzino, so I'm talking about what we're doing. But one of the things that we need to follow up being customer centric is what kind of compensation plan? How do you play that compensation plan or pay in that compensation plan? What kind of does a partner require to actually have customers And you know that we got like 4, 10, and then 25, and then we got a big bonus, or at least in our eyes, a huge bonus when they hit 100 customers. So we follow up that in the compensation plan. So I'm sometimes saying, and maybe I shouldn't say this, Steve, but I'm saying, at least for me and you, and everyone can listen and they can think about themselves. It's like, if you want a raw hype company that it's going up like this and you don't know what's happening, then I'm not thinking Zinzino is the right kind of company, because we require stable growth, and we require that you do some part-time work and keep your customers. But I also think that we got a lot of partners involved that is practitioners, that are physiotherapists out there, that really also make the way that we're doing better, also improving Zinzino with the requirements and wishes and all those kind of things. So I think that we are turning a little bit different. And I also see that we came from coffee and now we're totally a preventive health company. So of course that changed what kind of people or partners do we attract.
Absolutely. And what are the biggest strengths of the company, would you say?
Well, I mentioned some of them, but I think we're pretty stable, Steve. So we've been around for a while. I think that the founders and the partners that we got in the top have been around us for a while, 15, 12 years, 13 years. And then I think the culture that we have is quite amazing, from the founders who is working in the field together with the corporate side. The customer centric, I think, of course, the balanced product is unique. It's amazing. And we have our own strategy, trying to keep the prices smart and a level which is affordable for everyone. And then we're debt free. I mentioned the stock market or Nasdaq, but not from the Nasdaq point of view, but the fact that we are debt-free and transparent, and everyone can join and participate and buy shares in the company. And then, of course, if we put it a little bit further than that, which probably no one in this call have been thinking about, but of course, when we have founders, and together with me, and the second largest founder in Denmark, so extremely field oriented. We say customer oriented, but of course we are field oriented. We have the majority in the stock, so we take the decisions, we do the decisions ourselves, thinking about long term about the field, not to harm. You know, some other companies, they come in and then they have the corporate side had some good idea, which is not maybe good for the field, but we're extremely field centric and customer centric.
Yeah, and you have a leaders council, which is full of the field leaders, successful partners who are, you know, I'm going to say magnificent. I don't normally use that word, but I tell you, since I've been in the UK, the support, encouragement, and everything has been, you know, really, really top notch. So it's really good to see the relationship between the company and the partners and the leaders being like everyone's on the same hymn sheet. And yeah, that's a really cool thing. So going back, we started as a coffee company, and now we have the oil, the test, and now the protocol. Which are the drivers? How did the change come about? What was the change apart from?
Well, that was pretty crazy if you look at it like that. I think when I started, we had like 100% of the revenue were coffee back in 2012. Yeah, 100% of the percentage of the company was coffee. And then we kind of came over the balance oil and the balance test, and we were a little bit skeptical about them. But it's kind of a thing. There was a company called Bioactive Foods, a couple of inventors and doctors that have been studying this and working on making the test, and they didn't have a lot of success. And they've tried this for 8 years. I think they've been working around with this. Trying to sell this through stores and pharmacies and whatever. And I think they got 3,000-4,000 tests back in the days of the 8 years. And then we invested 10%. We bought 10% of the company with an option of buying the whole company if it went successful. And of course, alongside, we launched that in a slow motion pace, because there was a lot of skeptical partners out there. I'm a coffee seller. I love the coffee. Everyone was sold on the coffee. And then going over to preventive health. But it's kind of the test and the balanced oil, it's like the hen or the egg. It's like, what comes first? Well, the oil is what really does the magic. But when you really get sold or understanding, it's taking the test. So it's connection. And in our industry, I think direct sales is made for this testing. So no one wakes up on a Saturday morning thinking, I'm gonna wake up this morning and go to a pharmacy and check my fatty acids. No one does that. You don't know what it is. So someone needs to tell you this and explain you this. So of course, we bumped into these people and we worked around with them for, we still have one of the guys in the health advisory board. And we bought the company after 2 years of testing it out. And now it's 95, 6, 7% of the revenue. So if we look back 6, 7 years, it has been changing pretty radically from coffee to preventive health. But alongside that journey, we've been investing heavily in competence. We bought our own nutrition factory in Oslo. I've been the chief of the board of that company for about 5.5 years now, learning how to, and we also invested heavily in new products and product development. And I've been out there, you know, I'm pretty thorough, Steve, so I've been at the machinery in the factory, watching how they do things and calculating, trying to understand how we can be efficient in producing this product so we could be affordable for everyone.
Yeah.
So we've done a lot of the basics, depth in the basics.
Absolutely. And you know, you must be extremely proud of your role in the company and how the company has grown and where it's going. What projects are you working on at the moment?
Well, you know them all, and I've been talking pretty lot. Well, one of the things that I do every year is that I run through the strategy together with the leader council, as you mentioned, together with the board, together with the founders, together with the management team. And then I'm open and transparent and sharing it for everyone. I could share this for this moment now, a screen, share my screen and show you the strategy. I won't do that, but it's like I do that every time. I'm talking about those 8, 15 points that we're gonna achieve this year. So what I'm working on is exactly those 10, 15 different strategy points. So opening new markets, extremely important, like UK, having you on board, having the team here and Dave, fantastic, fabulous to have England. I love UK, so it's going to be amazing for us working in UK. And then working on putting more effort into Zinzino.com, our website, and making sure that everything is, so we have a lot of plans to improve things and change things and make things easier and simpler. During this Easter, I've been torturing my web designers. I've been sending them different stuff and things, that landing pages that we're gonna explore and improve on. I mentioned ZinzinoTest.com. It's old, it's outdated, it's not good at all, but the new version is gonna be amazing to launch that. I'm working on some new test methods for the products. So balance test is not going to be the only test method that we have. Maybe we would have, in 2 years' time from now, 5, 6 different tests. That Finally, I woke up someone. New products, new designs. So building a company, there is not only one thing. So it's 15 things and everything needs to be focused on, but it's different things, Steve.
No, absolutely. Yeah, fantastic. And I am fortunate to see the plan, and it's very exciting, Doug. As you know, UK is in pre-launch. Our partners are very excited. Obviously, you deal with the leaders who've been in the business a lot longer in other markets every day. What can I ask you? What you think separates? What fundamental factors separate leaders from people wanting to be leaders? What do you see the leaders doing in other markets that you think that's how you build a business?
I think that probably is the most difficult question you could ask me, Steve. What I see and what I do understand and what I do respect is that there is in the field, there is a lot of different leader styles and leader types. I think when you get corporate, you can see the Scandinavian flat structured style is one way, and you have, when you look at Mr. Putin and how he is working as a dictator, that's also a leader style, you can say. Or you just had your Brexit in England, and you see how Boris poured himself into the Downing Street. You see Donald Trump is doing his own leadership. So you see politics or politicians do their own leadership. And I think in the corporate side, you have, you can probably say there is different, some likeliness of having the same kind of leadership style. But I think in the field, there is more typos, or not personality types. Yeah. There is a lot of things, and I do respect all of them, to be honest. And I'm not sure if there is, I think being yourself and working from your own skill set, I think most of the people who does success in Zinzino, they are long-term thinkers. They started off maybe in the small, working part-time and working their way up and learning. So if you are a nurse, you have a lot of advantages understanding maybe the physiology of the body, the products maybe, but maybe leadership is different in that sense. We have F-16, you know what F-16 is?
The aircraft.
Yeah, the aircraft. We have one of those pilots. Oh. He's Norwegian, but he's struggling, and he's been working with leadership in the military, but he's struggling finding his way of leading in the field. So there's so many ways of dealing with things. But I think in using your knowledge and using your own way of finding your way of leading others is the main thing. And thinking long term and develop yourself and attending, watch the videos for Zinzino TV. There's a lot of knowledge in that. Talk to your uplines about how you're leading, and then work. Make sure that you are developing yourself, and I think that you will someday be an amazing leader. But it's a complex thing. You know that I'm interested in theory about leadership, and I do personality tests. So I don't think there is only one way to the goal, but I think utilizing your own ability, that's the main thing.
Okay, so would you focus? Do you focus on your strengths, or do you focus on your weaknesses?
I'm focusing definitely on the strengths of people. That's the main thing to do, and then maybe trying to work on your weaknesses. But working on your strengths is 80% of the work, I would say, because it's, of course, if you do a couple of stupid things when you're drunk, it's or do something that is like you really an angry person that is yelling at people, then you need to take that off, because that could be good, but in every occasion I would say it's a bad thing. But using your strength and removing or taking away some of your weaknesses, but not fully, focus on the strength.
No, I love that. Obviously, everyone's had to change their strategy a little bit now. We've all been, well, a lot of countries been self-isolating. I think UK, it's day 24 officially today. Obviously, some don't, some have to work, and we respect and love the people on the front line and everyone supporting the country. But you obviously talk to a lot of markets, and we are more now doing Zooms and doing online and doing phone calls. Is there anything in particular you've seen or you've heard stories maybe which is working in other markets that we could adopt here to develop the business better?
Well, I think that everyone learn every day, and there's a lot of people who's been working and most successful been offline. So there's a challenge for everyone out there to going online, and we all probably missed the hug or the social space that was before this COVID-19 happened. I wouldn't say there is any specific things that I would kind of recommend, but of course, learning Zoom, understanding to pick up the phone and not be afraid of using the tools that is out there. There is a lot of good tools, and working offline or online that we do now is actually pretty efficient, because you can have more meetings and you can devote more time, because there is less to do, honestly, when you're, London, let's say London, you could spend like 45 minutes to go from home to a meeting, which is a little bit less a waste of time, you could say. So instead of focusing on what you couldn't do, just focus on what you could do. And that is being in Zoom calls, phone calls, and emails and FaceTime, and use the opportunity to have a lot of meetings. I think that is amazing.
I love that. And we have a meeting, actually, Doug, I'm not sure, I don't think you know yet, I've not told you, but on Wednesday this week, 8 p.m. UK time, we have Paul Clayton on the line.
Amazing.
And that's our first call. Everyone obviously can promote that, and we'll do a flyer and put it on Team UK official Facebook page. Can I just ask how the relationship with Paul Clayton started, Dag, and just how impressed are you with this guy? Because I think everyone's in love with him.
Yeah. Paul is brilliant. Back in the days, I would say that we talked to him, asking him to do some meetings, or he was invited to talk to at our events. And then he wrote this book, Inflammation, which we bought a lot of copies of and sold off. So that was one of the things, and we know his brilliance. And at some point, I think that he is kind of claiming that he's using us to change the world of how people is eating and all that. But I would say that we're working for about 7 years now, and he is the inventor by Extend, or the formulation for Extend. So we work really closely to me and Ariane, the founder, on product development and how we're building up the structure around products, what we're saying, and you'll meet him. For those who haven't met him, he is soft-spoken, pretty and bright, really bright, smart guy. Truly respect him for his knowledge, and now he's more available than ever before, because he is locked down in Florida and doing a lot of Zoom calls and talking to people all around the world. And he was invited to, or he was helping Saudi Arabia during the Mars crisis that they had in 2012, 13, and 14, I would say, helping them to prevent that. So he has a lot of knowledge, and he's been reading a lot of pages about COVID-19. So he's amazing.
No, we can't wait, Dag. We can't wait for Wednesday. My last question, Dag. Obviously, the UK is launching soon.
Yeah.
What of them? UK is launching soon, and UK is 60 million people, and probably one of the most multicultural, multi-ethnic countries in the world, full of Chinese, Pakistan, Indian, South Africa. Every nation is basically covered, and you see that with Boris Johnson the other day, when he was looked after by a New Zealand lady and a Portuguese guy in the NHS. So UK is very multicultural. But you've got new markets launching this year. Which ones excite you the most? I know UK excites you, so we don't need to go there. But what other markets are exciting you right now?
So I have to say that UK, I've been always, you know, that we're really close related. I'm Norwegian, Steve, so some people tend to forget I'm Swedish, but I'm Norwegian. So there's a close relationship between Norway and UK, both because of NATO, because of the Second World War, and soccer, football, I mean, is really close related. And BBC and different things, music, whatever. So everyone kind of loves UK or England from this point, from Scandinavia, I would say. So it excites me to get started. And I know that there's a lot of companies who's not like doing brilliant, larger companies than us from US is not like doing tremendous good in a marketplace like UK. So it would be fun for us to do better than the other ones out there. And I think that we can achieve that with the products and with the culture that we have. We just need to be long-term thinking, establishing everything that we do over here and use the years to be doing tremendous in UK. So it excites me. And of course, Germany excites me. South Africa excites me because I've never been there. So I want to travel all around the world. I want to see Zinzino products all around the world. I was born and raised up north of Norway. My parents didn't take me to any vacation at all. We were stuck in the middle of an island. So the only thing that I could do was reading the atlas and so I knew every continent and country all around the world. So I want to travel to them with the balance oil and Zinzino, Steve. Hong Kong excites me. Of course, last week we bought BML Life, who is established in Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, and Taiwan. So of course that excites me to do a brilliant job in Asia as well. But every market excites me. I don't think that I have one favorite, to be honest. Of course, now on this call, I would say UK and you, Steve and Dave, and the guys.
Love it. Of course. Hey, well, Dad, honestly, that's everything I wanted to ask you tonight. Really appreciate your support. Really appreciate you being on the call. Thank the team. I know they're not with you; they're all over the place. But I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. One of our Zoom calls tomorrow. And thanks everyone for attending the call. And I look forward to Wednesday night, 8 p.m. UK with Dr. Paul Claydon. It's going to be exciting. Thanks all. Stay safe. Stay well. Thank you.
Bye.